Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. How are you?
I hope everybody's doing well. So I tried to get it out twice and couldn't this morning. So I said, you start this one.
Yeah.
It was a long night for us, too. It was another long night. Just like we've been talking about, the 3 a.m. wake ups one way or another. So a lot of people have been noticing strange movements in the sky with different, and this article is talking about helicopters over DC. But I got from a friend over in Phoenix strange drone flights overhead. And then friends out in California and also in North Carolina and in Kansas have been telling me about strange movements, planes, a lot of military planes, things they could hear but can't see. So I thought, well, let's just talk about this and see if you guys have noticed anything unusual in the sky.
Right. There's not just unusual stuff going on in the sky, but just a lot of weird anomalies in the last few days.
Yeah, think about last night with the power outages. And, by the way, and I had mentioned last night when we did the video, there wasn't any outages in Russia or China. But then this morning when I looked, there was a lot of Chinese outages. So interesting because, supposedly they are a little bit more impervious. Like Russia, remember they were testing their own internet, and China, the same thing, kind of cutting off from the rest of the world, which is to be expected with all the tension going on. But there was quite a bit of outages in China as well, which was interesting. There's a lot of just weird things going on. Obviously, these are unusual times. So this is Source of the Spring reporting this, and it says this is a warning. These flights are not normal air traffic for this area. As you see right there, United States of America on the helicopter. And they received multiple reports last night via Twitter of low-flying helicopters in the area. But they were not the recently reported police, news, or Department of Energy air traffic. So what were they?
Yeah, it's very curious. Why are they having so much air stuff going on? Weird.
As we see these tweets, okay, what's going on in Maryland, D.C. tonight? Have heard at least 8 helicopters over the last 2 hours or so, Silver Spring area. We're on the flight path by D.C., Bethesda, Naval, Walter Reed, etc. So what's going on? Who knows? And this other person says they've been flying low over my house for hours. Really sets me on edge. That's the other thing that a lot of people have been reporting. That there's helicopters and or planes that seem to be circling particular areas for long periods of time. And so you see Source of the Spring, Helicopters of DC says they were police and life flight in the area. Okay, so maybe it's in regards to the pandemic. We've seen a lot of life flights because we've been in really, really rural areas, and I do remember seeing them an unusual amount of times at different times during this, last year, the lockdown, the pandemic, and everything. We see Air Force Squadron has also been exceptionally busy. We can't track them by transponder, though, only photos. So we see here 4 distinct UH-1s from the 1st Helicopter Squadron flew over a few minutes ago. They seem to come and go really quickly.
Well, to me, it feels like they're doing a bunch of dry runs for some reason.
Yeah, you could feel that. It would make sense. Obviously things are tense, especially in DC. It's like the mainstream has, wants things to just roll back into normal, but there's a big section of the population that does not want things to go back to normal, that are not accepting or believing in what we've been seeing coming out as far as the mainstream. We have to be careful about going into that. So we wanted to just bring this up to you guys because we've had so many people, just telling us this, sending us snapshots of helicopters and stuff, or different planes that they can't identify. We've shared a few of them with you, but there really is a ton that have come in from all different areas. Like we're saying, both coasts, it seems like there's definitely a lot of unusual activity. And you see this email was forwarded to them this morning by a reader who says, I have lived in Silver Spring, Maryland area for over 50 years. I have a keen sense of the air traffic over the Silver Spring, Maryland area. This is the east / northeast area above D.C., bordered by the Beltway 495, Route 29, Colesville Road, and Route 193, University Boulevard. On average, there are many white tops, Huey UH-1B choppers, and OD Green UH-60s, which routinely fly between Bethesda and Andrews. They are required to follow the Beltway 495 and travel between bases to shuttle VIPs and the sick and injured to Bethesda. The past 3 weeks have been a daily barrage of UH-1Bs and UH-60 helicopters, sometimes 30 plus a day, not transporting, but patrolling. Where I live, these choppers are routinely flying at 600 feet and lower, not point to point, but in a circular search pattern. One was so low I could see the pilot's boots through the bottom window. These flights are going on at all hours of day and night. I have lived in this area for over 50 plus years and have a keen awareness of aviation and the flight patterns of civilian and military aircraft. The current state of the country and the unstable messages that are coming from the government is extremely disconcerting. The adding patrolling over flights of neighborhoods is troubling. I can tell when a UH-1 is coming, turning, or leaving just by the sound. As I'm typing this, there have been no less than 4 UH-1Bs and 1 UH-60 that have flown overhead, circled, and headed in a westerly direction, only to return again, traveling towards Andrews Air Force Base. I am very well aware of our location and can pick out the type of copter just by their signature sound. There have been Lakotas flying with UH-60 Blackhawks as well. These are not point-to-point shuttle flights between locations. These are patrolling flights by the U.S. military. Currently, another UH-1B is flying overhead and performing a slow turning sweep right now. This is the 4th in an hour of patrolling. This is a warning. These flights are not normal air traffic for this area. So that was something that they wanted to share. And as I've said, we've gotten the same sort of thing from different areas, but of course, this area you would expect might have more activity.
Right, and this guy seems to know his stuff, and he knows a lot more than the average person does. So, yeah, if he's concerned, I'm concerned.
Well, and as we said, these are tense times for many, many reasons, and we've seen troop movement. We've seen the National Guard being deployed, in many different areas. It's unusual times. So, is it preparation, or is it because of other reasons? Is it something that's also having to do with everything going on with the plague upon the world?
Right. I feel in many ways it's preparation.
It does feel so. It does feel so. So we just wanted to share this with you guys and, let us know what you have seen. Have you seen anything unusual out there? Have you heard anything unusual out there? Whether it be helicopter, planes, drones, or, obviously we've also had a lot of sightings of things that don't appear to be any of those classifications.
Right, exactly.
As always, we want to thank you guys so much for your support, both on Ko-Fi and then also on Patreon, because we couldn't do it without you. Stay prepared, God bless, and namaste.
Namaste.